Now, your promotional package is without a doubt the most important piece of your promotional puzzle. Aside from the initial phone call to determine whether you can send it to the venue, it's going to be the first point of contact between you and the club you want to get paid to play in. And because of this, it had better speak volumes about who you are and why the club owner should even consider hiring you to play in his club. I'm going to assume that you, like most bands, are accustomed to sending out the standard package. I get a ton of these from indie bands, and they generally include a photocopied picture of the band and a CD. Sometimes, and very rarely I might add, I'll get a higher end package which includes a great high quality picture, a cover letter addressed directly to me, and a high end properly produced and packaged CD with a DVD video. A well written bio that highlights the high points of the band's progress to that point, and a bunch of press clippings and reviews to support the bio and how great the band is. Now ask yourself, out of the two very different descriptions I just gave you, if you were in my position or a club owner's position, which package would you want to dive into first? At the very least, 99% of club owners or the media and even you would toss the El Cheapo packages to the side and dive right into the high-end packages first, right? And why not? I mean, think about it. My initial thought would be that this band is about something. Heck, they spend money on their package, so they must be making money somehow. And to do that, they must be getting hired to play in some decent clubs, so I might want to hire them for my club or get them on the phone for an interview if I work in the media. But knowing this, why do the majority of independent bands and artists send out those El Cheapo packages that tell me and club owners that they don't really think they're worth the money involved in properly selling themselves? Now, obviously, that's a rhetorical question, but it's one you should be asking yourself if you're one of those bands, because if this is you, then you should immediately understand what's being said about you and how the totally wrong messages that you're sending with your low-end promotional packages are effectively destroying your chances at having any kind of lasting success in this business. Okay, so I can hear you thinking about the costs involved in sending out packages that run you anywhere from $10 to $20 and have no guarantee that you'll even get hired. And that's cool. I do understand, money can be tight sometimes and there are risks involved in spending money, but realize that this is your band and it's your business. Do you want to keep doing things the same way only to get the same results? Or do you want to lift yourself out of that rat race and move into the big time, making more money per gig, which will allow you to actually put more money into your promotion? Think about this carefully, because when you really break down what it's going to cost you to start properly promoting yourself, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It really isn't as expensive as you might think. For instance, let's assume that you start out doing what most bands do. You cheap out, but let's be super extreme so you can really see where I'm going with this. First, you write up a basic flyer saying how great your band is. I don't know, let's say you write on your flyer, our band is the coolest, you should hire us. Just stay with me here for a second, all right? Your cost for sending out this flyer will be about, let's say, 75 cents for each package, and that includes the postage, the printing, and the envelope. Now, let's say you send out 1,000 of these. My guess is that you'd be lucky, and I mean really lucky, to get even one call. Chances are no one is going to get back to you at all, right? So that's $750 that you just flushed down the drain. All right, now let's add a CD to the package. We've now raised our postage to $1.75, and our mailing costs have risen from $750 to, say, $1,750. We haven't added anything else, and our flyer is exactly the same. With the CD included, you might get a single bite, right? But at a $1,750 cost to send out these packages, it had better be a whopper of a gig for you to break even at $1,750. What I want you to grasp here is that if you fail to see the value in yourself and provide the proper representation of you and your band, then you're never going to be able to get paid what you're really worth. You'll get paid exactly what you show you're worth, and if you do this properly, I can almost guarantee that it's going to be a heck of a lot more than you're getting paid using the same El Cheapo methods as everyone else. Now, don't you think you're worth more money than you're making right now? Let's say you're a progressively thinking, business-oriented band, and you've got this marketing and promotions thing in check. You know the value of sending out a properly compiled promotional package that's going to open the eyes of the club owners. You've thought it all out and realize that the only way to make more money per show is to show everyone how valuable you really are. Now, this is where the numbers start to take over. I'm going to show you how how by investing in yourself, it's going to pay for itself in huge ways for a very long time to come. The initial investment might be a little higher than what you're used to, but there's still not very much, and the long-term returns that you'll get from the investments you make are priceless. Okay, so I can imagine you asking, what do you want me to spend money on now? But I don't want you to worry, because this is money that you're probably already spending, but you might be spending it in the wrong places. And like I said earlier, it's really not that much, and the returns that you receive are going to be so worth it. We discussed the ways most bands send out promotional packages and how they barely get any return on their investment. Now let's say that for every 10 to 20 packages you send out, you get 1 gig. And let's say that gig pays you, say, $400 to $500. Of course, once you get all of the course lessons put into action, you're going to be raising the dollar value per gig. But for now, we're going to say $400 to $500 per gig. So you've sent out 20 packages and you got 1 gig at $500. Now, if each package you sent out costs you $12, I know that's a weird number, but hey, that's about what it's going to cost you if you do this right now. So anyway, at $12 per package, you've sent out 20 of them, which works out to $240. And out of those 20 packages, you get 1 gig at $500. You've effectively made a profit of $260. Now, how cool is that? So let's say you send out 100 packages, and using our mathematical odds of return on investment, you should get about 5 gigs, and at $500 a piece, you'll be pulling in $2,500 for your time and efforts, and meanwhile, you'll only have spent $1,200. Now, if making $1,300 profit for every $1,200 you spend doesn't seem like a good investment, then maybe you'd better head on over to the nearest university and get yourself enrolled into a fancy, expensive business course, because even at $500 per gig, that's good money in my books. But the reality is that if you apply everything you learn in this course to your music business, you're going to be pulling in much more than $500 per gig, and everything above that is going to be pure profit, which results in genius. So what do you include in your package to make the greatest impact and increase your odds of getting called in to play at the club? See, if you're like most bands, this is an area that you don't pay a lot of attention to, and the problem with that kind of strategy is that you're cutting your foot off before you even get a chance to step through the door. Now ask yourself how club and venue owners are going to think of you when they see the haphazard way that bands send them CDs and promo packages. Believe me, they get a lot of them, and over 90% of the packages that do come through the door aren't even worth using as paperweights. It's sad, but it's true, and it's unfortunate because there are a lot of great bands out there that deserve the opportunity to play, but just don't know how to properly present themselves to get the doors opened in their favors. But of course, this is not going to be you, because you're taking the necessary steps to ensure your success, and as a result, you're here with me now, and you're learning what it takes to break through the noise of the mediocrity, which is fantastic for you. So basically, there are 5 major components involved in putting together a proper promotional package to set yourself apart from the other bands you're going to be competing with to get a chance to play in the clubs and venues. I'll list them here first, not in their order of importance, because to be quite honest, each one is as important as the other. And then once I've listed them, I'll go through the process of breaking each one down for you and then detail exactly what you need to do to get each component taken care of, and then how you should go about presenting them. Okay, the first one I've listed is something that I personally love taking care of, and that's the photos of the band. Now, I know a lot of bands do their own photos, what with the low cost of digital cameras nowadays, but to be quite honest, this is not where you should be skimping out, and I'll get to that shortly. Then, of course, there's your CD, and I'm sure there's no need for me to tell you how important it is for this to sound the best you can possibly make it. Your press clippings are great because they support the fact that you're out there doing what you say you're doing, and can sometimes be a deciding factor between you and another band. But if you haven't gotten it yet, don't worry about that, because a little later on in the course, I'm going to show you how you go about working the media, and you'll get your own press clippings that you can use in your promo packages put together in no time. Then there's the band and the music reviews, and they're essential, and there's no excuse for you not to have them. I know it takes a long time to get them sometimes, but if that's the case and you find they aren't coming fast enough, then dip into your wallet and go out there and pay for them. You just can't put a price on someone else talking about your music. It's priceless and a huge help to your professionalism having someone discuss what they think about your band. Not only that, it'll help you improve in some of the areas that you may have thought you already had down pat, but the reviewer may think need some work. And if enough people agree with the reviewer, maybe it's an area that you really do need to put some more work into. And of course, you need the standard bio and cover letter. Your bio shouldn't be too elaborate, but it needs to intrigue the club owner enough to make him want to know more about you. You need to create a mystique effect so there's a desire to know who you are and what you're really about. If you can achieve this with your bio, then you're on your way to the phone call, and once you got them to call you, it should be really easy to sell yourself into the gig from there. So those are the 5 major components that you'll be putting into your promotional packages from now on, and generally these are going to be necessary whether you're sending out your package to clubs, venues, or media, or whoever. This is your sales package, and it's usually the first tangible items that end up in the hands of potential prospects. So it's got to be fantastic when they open it, and that's exactly what you're going to be doing from now on. So let's break down each piece because I want you to be as perfect as possible when you approach these people.